Well, you're probably wondering, who the hell is this fat ass wearing one of the, if not the worst, team jersey in the NHL? Of course, that's the choking Maple Leafs. And he's sitting in front of a stack of movies. Well, I'm sorry to say, this is LeBurn 98, the the actual person of that voice you hear, through the NHL, the Call of Duty, the, you know, all those type of videos. Well, I actually decided to, because I've actually had a few people ask me this, to both show my game collection, which is actually up there, and the game collection will consist of PlayStation 3, Wii U, and Nintendo 3DS. I have a Wii, but I don't have it right now, and the games are actually lent it to my sister. I also gave my sister, lucky her, my Xbox 360 since I very seldom use it anymore. Uh, I have my computer, which is right beside me right here, and so I decided to give her that. Although I kept I kept certain games like Ghostbusters or whatever, but I have them packed away right now. And then I think, even though this is primarily a gaming channel, I do talk occasionally about what I got as far as movies were concerned, and I think I'll show you my movie collection as well. First of all, though, my channel did get start with hockey videos, NHL, the NHL EA series in particular, and it's kind of gone a bit more towards other type of games I like Call of Duty and Tyson. You guys know him as Black 85. He's doing Resistance, and various other videos. I have a Walking Dead video coming up. A huge fan of that, and you'll see it. It's all part of my collection in the back here. And but primarily, I started with hockey. Of course, I am a Leafs fan, and I actually have the pathetic excuse of a beard right here, which I will shave now that the Leafs are gone. It's kind of like a tradition. You don't shave the playoff beard. But yeah. So, anyways, without further ado, let's show you the game collection, and then we'll show you the big lot behind us, which is the Blu-ray and somewhat of a DVD collection. So let's get it on. Okay, so on to the game collection. I suppose I'll start with the 3DS, since it's one of the smaller collections that I have. We first have Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, which is the sequel to the GameCube Luigi's Mansion. I haven't played it a ton. I just have been super busy, and then with the movie collecting and everything, and of course with work, I just haven't had time to fully get into it. But from the first couple hours that I've played of it, I find it very enjoyable. Funny enough, I haven't actually completed the Luigi's Mansion on GameCube yet, but you don't really need to play that in order to understand this game. It is, after all, a Nintendo game. Not a ton of story into it, just a basic plot to get you into a haunted mansion. Nothing overly, overly complicated. Good game though, and if you're a fan of, Nintendo games, and especially Luigi's Mansion, you'll enjoy it. Next we have Mario Kart 7. Probably one of the best Mario Kart games to date, and it's also nice to have online play on the go, so you can go to Starbucks or whatever and hook their Wi-Fi and play your friends online. Might be an adult, but I still enjoy these type of games. Next one, speaking of adult enjoying other type of games, Super Mario Brothers 2. Now, this game does get a lot of flack and I can understand why, because the biggest gimmick in this is the coin collecting and the golden suit, the golden mushroom or whatever, which basically allows you to collect coins, turn enemies into coins, and all this stuff. It's basically a flower power. Instead of shooting fireballs, you shoot the gold fire, which turns your enemies and everything else into coins. I still enjoyed it. I actually beat it, completed 100%, and all I have to do now is go for the bajillion coins or whatever to get the title thing. Not something I really have time to do, so I don't know if I'll actually complete that, maybe over time, but I recommend it. I mean, there's definitely other games for the 3DS you can look at before getting this one, but if you're a Mario fan, I think you'll enjoy it. Next up is Resident Evil Revelations. I am a decent Resident Evil fan. I mean, I'm not a hardcore by any means, but I do enjoy the Resident Evil series, and this one actually kind of brings it back to the older Resident Evils, the more, I guess, what people would deem scarier or atmospheric Resident Evils. And it's great looking for a 3DS game, I gotta give it that. And if you don't have a 3DS, you can still pick it up. I think it comes out this month, which as of this recording, it's May. If it's not May, it's June. It's definitely soon, and you can get it for, I believe it's the PC, Xbox 360, PS3, and Wii U, if I'm not mistaken. And it'll have obviously HD graphics and all that stuff. Definitely recommend it if you are a Resident Evil fan. Probably one of the better Resident Evils recently. Then we have another Mario title, Super Mario 3D Land, or Super Mario Land 3D, whatever you want to call it. Definitely the superior of the two Mario games. And it's kind of a mix of a 2D and a 3D platformer. Haven't completed it the second time through. Again, not a lot of time to do so, but it's also a lot more difficult the second time through compared to the other Mario game. But definitely recommend, especially if you're a Mario fan, and just people in general. Then this one here, it was one of the first games. I think it might have been even the first game that I bought for my 3DS. At the time, there wasn't a ton of games. I basically mostly got it for the how do I say it? When the 3DS originally came out, I think it was I want to say $240 some dollars. Could be wrong, or maybe it was $230, whatever. And it was really expensive, and it didn't sell that well. So Nintendo dropped it down to the $199, or to a lower price. It was dropped by $50 basically. And to ease the blow for people the early adopters, what they did is they gave out 10 free games. But you had to have a Nintendo account by, I think it was March of that year, when they were doing the price drop. And if you did, you get those 10 free games. So basically what I did is, in order to get 10 free games, is Best Buy was having a sale. And it was only $10 more, or was it $5 more? It was really cheap anyway, than the actual price of the price cut. So what I did is I decided to run out, get this DS, and quickly sign up and everything. And I got my 10 free games for essentially $5 to $10 more. And this happened to be the game, which is obviously, as you can tell, Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, 3D. And I'm actually enjoying it. It's funny, because when I originally played the Nintendo 64 version, I wasn't a huge fan. I think the biggest problem with that is I didn't have internet, especially high-speed internet. And now if I get stuck, I simply go on YouTube, I look up the walkthroughs, and I can pass it without any problems. Great thing about YouTube, you can do that. And I am enjoying it. I don't get stuck as much, perhaps because I'm an adult now. The last time I played it, I was, maybe a teenager, or at the latest I was a teenager, but I was more likely a kid at the time, and kept getting stuck on it. So that's, when you get stuck with any game, if you get stuck, you don't really want to play it. So definitely fun, and if you're a Zelda fan, even if you've played the game before, I think you'll still enjoy it. Now we go on to the Wii U games. I might even have showed a couple of these, I can't remember. No, I was supposed to do a video of Wii U. Never really did anything other than the menu. First one is Lego City Undercover. I actually heard good things about it. This is why I bought it. I know it kind of looks like a kid's game, and to some aspects it is. Maybe to a lot of aspects it is. But it's great if you like collecting things, and I do. And kind of funny coming from someone who doesn't apparently have a lot of time, but it's basically a Grand Theft Auto type of game in a Legoland. And growing up with Legos, definitely a lot of fun. Although, while it does have some humor that adults will definitely get, it's kind of like more of like a Pixar kind of game as opposed to a super kid-like experience. You might not, depending if what kind of games you like. If you look past the Lego, the kid appearance, I think you'll enjoy it. Anyway, so next one is Super Mario Brothers U. If you played new Super Mario Brothers Wii, it's basically the same type of game, except it's in HD and a few other new powers. It has the flying squirrel suit and a few others in there. Actually, not too bad. I enjoyed it. I did beat it. Don't know if I'm going to go through it a second time to go to the bonus levels, but what can you do? One game I never actually played, it came with my Wii U, and that's Nintendo Land. Well, I'm kind of lying. I tried it, but a lot of them are 4-player games, and I didn't really want to bring everyone in to play the Wii U with these type of games. So, yeah, it is what it is. It's basically a mini game compilation. Can be fun, get drinking, bring a few buddies over, get drinking, and have a blast, I suppose, but not my cup of tea. Next one, Sonic All-Stars Racing Transformed. Now this is available, it's not exclusive, it is available on Xbox 360, PC, and PS3, but of all the versions, not being biased or anything, because primarily my system is PS3, this is the best version to get, and mainly due to the graphics. It has a smoother frame rate and whatnot, and I think it has a few other exclusives in here, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong here. Exclusive features only on Wii U: Super Monkey Ball and Shinobi multiplayer modes. The touchscreen on the Wii U acts as a map, weapon, cam, and rear mirror. Race as your Mii character in their own transforming vehicle. So yeah, nothing overly exclusive, I suppose, but the frame rate alone makes it worth it, and it's a damn good clone of the Mario Kart type of games. So of cloned games, I would say this is probably one of the better ones. Okay, and finally for Wii U, we have Zombie U. Of course, being a huge zombie fanatic, I can't go buying a Wii U and not buying Zombie U. It's definitely a really good game. Definitely on the difficult side. I mean, it's not for the faint of heart by any means. You will die, and die a lot, you will. But, yeah, I enjoyed it. Graphically, it's not the best game out there, but it's not as bad as people say it is. People tend to over-exaggerate things, I find, and I enjoy it, and I definitely recommend picking this up if you ever decide to get a Wii U. So that's basically it for the Wii U. Next up will be PS3, and I'll go 3 at a time here, I think, for these. Okay, so we have Batman Arkham City. It's back, Batman Arkham City. What can you really say about that? Great game. If you haven't played it, definitely pick it up. Next up, Battlefield Bad Company 2. I also have this on the PC. And I believe that I also had it on the Xbox 360. I gotta be honest. Compared to, and here I'll put it up here. Compared to these two, I actually like this one better. I just like the whole destruction aspect of it. You can take out a whole building with people. Now, you can do that to a certain degree in this one. But while this one might have better graphics overall, especially on the PC, I find this one has more something. I don't know if it's substance or whatever.
I just like it. And as far as single player is concerned, while you don't normally play Battlefield games for the single player, definitely this one. Just overall. Okay, so kind of funny how they're side by side. We have the competing series of Call of Duty. Now I say competing, but let's be honest here. When it comes to sales, nothing beats Call of Duty. And I don't know if I can actually. Here, I might have to move it over some here. Hopefully they don't fall down. Okay, whatever. Here we go. Good enough. So, I have basically all the Call of Duties. I am missing a World at War from this thing, but I do, but I do have it on PC and Xbox 360, so I have basically all Call of Duties, all the main ones. Call of Duty 1, 2, 3, 3 is on Xbox 360, and then Call of Duty 4 I have on Xbox 360, PC, and on PS3. I have Modern Warfare 2 on PC and of course PS3, and then Modern Warfare 3 it's only on PS3, and then only on PS3 and PC, and then finally only on PS3. So of all these games, I have to say Call of Duty 4, Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare 3, and Modern Warfare 2 in that order. Basically judging more on the online aspect of it. They all have pretty good single player campaigns, but although vastly superior in Black Ops and Black Ops 2. But they are what they are. You either like them or you don't. I find a lot of haters with this series. I like them. Don't have really any complaints about the series. And as you'll see with my collection, I have a variety of different types of genres in my collection. And if you don't like it, well, whatever. Nothing I can really do to convince you otherwise. Anyway, another game I got, it's an Activision game again, DJ Hero 2. I got this with the turntable for $10. Kind of funny considering, what was it, like $100 or $80 when it first came out. Definitely bombed when it comes to selling. But, well, it's funny because the turntable, the DJ Hero series, actually kind of unique and fun, but didn't sell that well. So I guess there's not a lot of wannabe DJs out there in the world. Definitely enjoy it though. If you can find it for the price I did, I think it's worth a buy. And then we have a series I'm not a huge fan of, but still great games, and this is the God of War series. We have God of War Origins Collection, which has Chains of Olympus and Ghosts of Sparta, which was the PSP games that were ported later to this PS3 set. Then we have God of War 1 and God of War 2 from the God of War collection, which were originally PS2 games, and then finally we have God of War 3. I would of all these, I would say probably God of War was the best, and the biggest reason is overall, kind of like Call of Duty, it's all the same thing. I mean, yes, the graphics have gotten better, or in this case maybe worse than this one, but definitely better in this one. But at the end of the day, you're just button mashing. But with that being said, they're still great games. They're great, adventures. I enjoy playing them all through. Just not a huge fan. I don't go out of the way. Obviously, I'm missing Ascension. So, as you can tell, I'm not a huge fan. I don't have to go day one to get them, but still a good series. I enjoy them. Then we have God of War. Grand Theft Auto 4, and this is the episodes from Liberty City pack, which is the complete edition. I got this, I think, for $10. It was a Best Buy Black Friday sale, maybe. And of course, I am in Canada, Toronto Maple Leaf Jersey, Canada. And I'm sure you guys must know that by now, based on the accent. And what can you say about Grand Theft Auto 4? It does have its haters. A lot of the hate comments kind of go towards the fact that it kind of goes for a more realistic feel. A lot of people like the more over the top gameplay of something like San Andreas, and I do like that. But then again, you do have, if you like that type of gameplay, you do have Saints Row, which is a competing franchise to this, and I enjoy it. I thought it was a great game, definitely deserving of Game of the Year. And I have this on Xbox 360, just the first one. I have the PS3, the entire collection. Then I have the entire collection on PC. So obviously I enjoy it, and I do recommend it if you like the open sandbox type of games. Next up, gotta be honest, not a huge fan of Gran Turismo, the series in general. Cars aren't really my thing, but something about this one, I don't know what it was, but I did like this one. I think what kind of got me into this was Forza Motorsport on Xbox 360. I got 3 and 4, I think it was. And from that, I got into this one. And I got this one for really cheap. I think it was $29. And it includes all of the DLC at the time. And if you're a car nut, which I am not, but if you are a car nut, you'll definitely enjoy this. I hear there's a lot of debate between Forza and Gran Turismo, but I hear a lot of people prefer this one over Forza. But I'll leave you to judge that. Okay, so next one up is Infamous. And it's another open sandbox type of game. And in this one, you are kind of like a superhero. Not as good as the second one. The second one really ramped it up, and it has its moments. I'll put it that way. I do recommend it though. You can get it fairly cheap now. And in fact, if I'm not mistaken, they were giving it away at one point because of the PlayStation Network outage, the hack that happened. What was it, last year? I suppose. Here's something I bought, never actually played, but I heard the great games. Jack and Dexter, the collection, which is the Naughty Dog guys, the guys who make Uncharted, made this. Here it's a great platforming series, and because of that, that's why I bought it, but I never actually got time to play it. It was a Black Friday sale. Can't remember how much it was. It was fairly cheap, I think $20. And it comes with 3 games. So you might like that if you like platforming and if you're a fan of Naughty Dog as a studio. Next up, and actually these belong together, so I'll put them together. It's Killzone 2 and Killzone 3. This, if you've watched any of my videos, was one of the reasons why I bought a PlayStation 3. I am a huge first-person shooter type fan. I prefer those type of games, but I do like other games, as you can tell. But this is one of the reasons why I bought it. The other one will be coming up. And kind of disappointed me to a degree. I thought there wasn't much of a story to it. And while the graphics are good, it was a bit sluggish. But it's decent, I'll give it that. I mean, you're going to get some enjoyment out of it. And I do still enjoy it. Obviously, I enjoyed it enough to buy the next one. So, definitely a good series. Killzone 3, kind of a disappointment in game. Although, with that being said, they did improve on the the gameplay mechanics, the movement, and things like that. Took a little bit of an influence from Call of Duty, but not to the extreme, which is nice. I mean, you don't want every game to be like Call of Duty. I mean, I don't. Graphics, again, really good, but again, story, not great. But I mean, then again, it is a shooting game. You don't really go into a shooting game looking for just a really engaging narrative, right? In most cases, unless it's like Half-Life or something. Next one up, haven't actually completed. That's L.A. Noire. I got this on launch day, probably about 3/4 of the way through. I do like it, so it's not the fact that I got bored of it and that's why I haven't completed it. I just kind of got other games around the time. Maybe it was Call of Duty or whatever, and then it's hard to get back into it. You basically have to start over to really understand the story. And it's basically, now I don't want to say it's Grand Theft Auto because it's definitely not Grand Theft Auto. It has open-like environments, but you are kind of limited to certain things. You do play detective in this, and you go around solving cases. There's a lot of interrogating suspects, which I like. It's definitely a unique game, but I think you can find it fairly cheap. And if that any of that sounds interesting to you, definitely try and pick it up, see what you like. I think it might even be on PC now, so if you're a PC gamer, that's something to look forward to. Another game I got, Little Big Planet, and actually pretty creative. It's kind of like Gary's Mod on PC, but for PlayStation. And instead of like using like a lot of like basic Half-Life models and things, it's these cute little Sackboy things. But yeah, it's pretty neat. And I gotta be honest, like there's a lot of creative people making games out of this. Like especially with Little Big Planet 2. Oh my God, there's so many things in that it's pretty neat what people can do. And I definitely recommend that game. Again, you can find it fairly cheaply, and especially, I think at this point I'd probably go with Little Big Planet 2 if you're going to buy one of the two. Another game, Mag. This was the massively, what do they call it? I can't remember there was a name for it. Whatever. It's massive something something. Basically, it's a massive online shooting game made by the guys who made SOCOM, and I enjoy it. But the problem is, as is the case with most PlayStation games, unless it's Call of Duty, they tend to jump ship onto the next game. So there wasn't a ton of people, and the people who are still playing this, if there is any now, are like the guys who are hardcore with it. So for someone, a newbie like me, trying to get into it, it's very difficult. But definitely a neat concept, and to some degree it does succeed. But for the most part, I think it's an average game, and you might be able. I don't know like how the online community is right now, but you can maybe give it a try and see how it goes. I think, if I'm not mistaken, now it could be. I think it might be available for free. At least the basic online is free on the PlayStation Network. I could be wrong about that though. But you might be interested in that. Another game I like, and this was from, 2011? I want to say 2011, if I'm wrong, whatever. 2012. Okay, whatever. Last year. And that's Max Payne 3. I love the first two Max Payne games. Second one was definitely short, but it had a really good story to it, and the third one just as good of a story. I hear some varying opinions, as it tends to be the case with a lot of Rockstar games lately. The majority, I think, do like them and praise them. Then there's the odd few that don't like it for whatever reason. The gameplay mechanics can be a little wonky at times, but overall, I think it's a decent action third-person shooter with a really good film noir type story. I definitely consider picking this up if you haven't already. It's also available on Xbox 360 and PC, and of course PS3. So definitely give that a try. Another creative type of game in the vein of Little Big Planet is Mod Nation Racers. Basically, it's the Mario Kart equivalent of Little Big Planet, where basically you can go and create your racers, you can create tracks, which is really cool. Kind of brings back the old excitement that I had from Excitebike from the old NES days. And one big issue I have with it, though, I find the actual controlling of the vehicles isn't really precise enough, especially when you go from playing Mario Kart to something like this, because let's be honest, at the end of the day it is kind of a clone of Mario Kart, so as a clone you kind of expect to do certain things, and the vehicle handling, it's a bit too sluggish, I find, not responsive enough. But overall I think it's a decent game, and if you're a Mario Kart fan and you kind of want to give something else a try, definitely pick up this. I think it's decent. It was also one of the free games, I believe, during that PS3 or PlayStation Network hacking outage thing. Next up, Mortal Kombat. What can you say about Mortal Kombat? I think it was the game that invented the rating system for video games. This is the complete edition, which has the Freddy Krueger and a bunch of other DLC characters. I didn't complete all of the stories or the story campaigns in this, but it is a fighter, and I do like them to some degree. Not great at them though, unfortunately, which kind of takes the enjoyment of it somewhat. But yeah, I think it was definitely a good buy. I only paid, I believe, $30 for it. Now it could even be cheaper. So definitely, if you like fighting games like Street Fighter and all these type of games, definitely pick this one up. And of course, if you're a Mortal Kombat fan, why don't you have it already? Okay, so of course, as I said in my intro video, my channel basically started with NHL games, and I have two for PlayStation 3, and that is NHL 12 and NHL 13. What do I think of each one? Do I think NHL 13 is better? Overall, yes, I think NHL 13 is better. The biggest reason is it doesn't freeze. That's good. I don't know if it's just me, but I find NHL 12 freezes a lot, especially in BA Pro mode. You'll play a period or two and then you'd be doing great, and all of a sudden it freezes. And that was the biggest complaint I had with NHL 12. And I am glad that they took a lot of the cross-crease, the cross-crease goals, which is basically what everyone was doing online, and add a bit more variety. I do know that a lot of people don't like the superhuman-like goaltending in sometime in this game, but it can definitely be tweaked in NHL 14, but I think they are on the right path. I really do like the skating animation in that. Definitely improved over previous editions. Next we have Rage, a first-person shooter by id Software, the guys who made Doom, and basically created or made it successful, the first-person shooter genre with Wolfenstein 3D. Unfortunately, Rage isn't a great game as people thought it would be. It's decent, but I didn't complete it. So take that for what you will. I think it's a decent game. Definitely give it a try. It's also available on Xbox 360 and PC. And see what you think of it. One of the games, and I don't know if I might have passed one. I did. I got Modern Warfare 2, this game, and a few other ones I'll show later, on eBay for $40. And I think I got like 4 or 5 games to start my collection. At the time I only had 2 games. That was Uncharted 2 and Killzone 2. And then I got 4 or 5 games through eBay, and this is one of them. Ratchet and Clank, Tools of Destruction. It's a platforming game. Very fun. I like it. It's kind of like a Pixar movie. And funny enough, they're actually making a movie of this now. I don't know, but that's not necessarily about Tools of Destruction, but just the Ratchet and Clank in general. And it looks just like that game, so definitely fun. If you have kids, pick it up for them, and even yourself. Definitely enjoyable. So kind of brings the kid out. During the depressing times. Next up, speaking of bringing the kid out of you, is Rayman Origins. As you can see on the price tag, I don't know if you can actually see that. Used $29.99. This is actually buy one get one free at Rogers sale, which you'll see later on. Created a lot of my Blu-ray collection, which is behind all this, and great platforming. One of the best platforming in recent memory. The 2D variety, anyway. And definitely pick this up if you're at all a 2D into 2D gaming and in platform gaming. Yeah, what can I say about that one? Great game. Then we got 2 Resident Evil games. We have, and I think I actually had this on my channel. I did a video of it. Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City and Resident Evil 6. Funny enough, a lot of criticisms for both of these games, especially for Operation Raccoon City. This is the guy, the game made by, I think it was Slant 6, the people who made SOCOM Confrontation, I believe. And it feels like a SOCOM game, actually. I didn't mind it, but it was definitely some wonkiness to it, and I think is ultimately what took the enjoyment out of it. It's a co-op game, and you play the events, I believe it's between Resident Evil 2 and 3. And maybe for that aspect, it's definitely worth to pick it up if it's like cheap for like $10 or something. I paid full price for that, and yeah, I'm a sucker. Then we have Resident Evil 6. Now, a lot of polarizing opinions of this game. I actually enjoyed it. I thought it was maybe not great, but definitely up there as one of my favorites of last year. You have 3 campaigns, 4 if you count Ada Wong's campaign after beating the game. And they all have different styles of play. You have Leon's is more of like the typical Resident Evil horror experience. You have Chris Redfield, who is more action oriented. And then you have, oh, I can't remember. I know it's Sherry and I think Wesker's son. I can't remember the guy's name. For the third one, that's more of like almost like quick time event kind of running all the time gameplay. I enjoyed it. I thought that the story, as cheesy as Resident Evil stories are, was good. I liked the 4, the 4 scenarios that you play through, and it also has co-op. A lot of fun with playing with a friend. So I do recommend it, but buyer beware. Not everyone enjoyed it. So there you go. Then we have another franchise that surprisingly I enjoyed. I didn't think I would. Definitely wasn't the reason I picked up a PlayStation 3, but I'm kind of glad I did now. And that's Resistance 1, 2, and 3. Right now, Boyaka, as of this taping, is playing Resistance 2. And he already played Resistance 1. Check those out if you want, if you're at all interested in these games. You don't have them yet. And yeah, this is definitely a fun series. I wouldn't say it's a day one buy type of series for me, but I definitely enjoyed them. I got them all pretty much budget prices. I think I got each one of these first 2 for like no more than $20, and I think even this one, I got this one for $25. So definitely a steal for all of them, and I enjoyed each and every one of them. So yeah, and this is made by the guys at Insomniac who made Ratchet and Clank. So kind of surprising actually, considering it's a mature rated game. Then we have Sly Cooper, the collection. Always wanted to play this series since it was a PlayStation 2, and I had PlayStation 2 at one point, ended up selling it because of the problems with the read errors that those systems were prone to, at least early on. Kind of like the Red Ring of Death for Xbox, but it was PlayStation 2. Kind of regret selling it though, because I missed out on these type of games. Luckily, we have the PlayStation 3 HD collections, and because of that, I get to play the Sly series, and definitely great games. Platforming game, kind of sneaking around like type games, but yeah, definitely a lot of fun. I mentioned Mag. I showed Mag, and this is made by the same people, and this is SOCOM 4. U.S. Navy SEALs. Didn't really enjoy it that much. It was alright. I mean, it wasn't a bad game. I mean, there's a hell of a lot worse games out there. But, yeah, I think even SOCOM fans didn't really like it that much. So, that tells us something. Then we have a game I never actually played all that much. Didn't really like the voice acting in it. And that's Spider-Man Web of Shadows. This is one of the last games I got with that 5-pack of games I told you about. And, yeah, never played it. Can't really give you an opinion on it. On to the next one. Of course, next one is Twisted Metal. Again, not a huge fan of the Twisted Metal series. But for one thing, this was like a budget title. Kind of a budget title. I think it was $49.99 when it first came out. It also came with Twisted Metal Black downloadable code. So you get the Twisted Metal Black game, which I believe was a PlayStation 2 game. And it's fun. It's basically, vehicle slaughter. And it's, Death Race. If you've seen the movie Death Race, kind of like that kind of stuff, but more insane. And if you like that kind of stuff, it sounds interesting to you, I definitely give it a try. And just a lot of videos up there of all the Twisted Metals. Just check YouTube, you'll find all kinds of stuff like that. You might like it. I enjoyed it. Not a huge fan by any means, but can't really complain. I guess I could put it that way. And then, one of the reasons I got the PlayStation 3, and easily one of the best on it, and that includes third-party games, and that is, of course, Uncharted. Wow, what a series this is. We have Uncharted Drake's Fortune, Uncharted 2 Among Thieves, and then Uncharted 3 Drake's Deception. Of the three, this one is by far the greatest, followed by Uncharted 3 and then Uncharted. A lot of people have splitting opinions of these two. Uncharted 1 was more exploration, maybe more, had more things like that. Uncharted 2 really improved in the action department. It dropped a lot of puzzling in favor of set piece moments, and I think that's why a lot of people well, they love the game, don't get me wrong, they love the game, just not to the same degree as the first one. And then Uncharted 3 kind of really towed the same line as Uncharted 2. So if you didn't like Uncharted 2, you're not gonna like Uncharted 3. But all three are great games, and I highly recommend getting a PlayStation 3 just for these three games alone. And I don't normally say that. Normally, very much you need at least 5 or so games to really qualify purchasing a system brand new. Although to be fair, PlayStation 3 is pretty much at the end of its life cycle, and you can get it fairly cheaply. And of course, last and probably least is The Walking Dead Survival Instinct. I am doing a walkthrough of this. It's not bad. I mean, again, it's one of those games that's getting a lot of flack. I do enjoy it to some degree. But not as good as the Telltale games. Walking Dead, the downloadable episodes kind of game. The point and click kind of adventure game that they had for The Walking Dead. That's a great game. If you want to get any Walking Dead related stuff, get that one. But not bad for a budget title. That's what it is, and they knew that. And I don't want to say I recommend it, but if you're a Walking Dead fan, maybe you'll buy it. I would say if it's under $20, definitely give it a try, especially if you are a Walking Dead fan. Anybody else, I think you probably want to pass. And this is coming from a zombie fan. Not bad though. I hate to say it's bad, but there it is. So anyways, that's basically it. So yeah, so until next time, this is LeBurn98 saying off. Up next will be the Blu-rays. So there we go. See you guys. Bye.